Reading another business book is just another form of procrastination with a better name on it. Now, let me explain that to you real quick. You watched 50 hours of Alex Hormozi. You read Rich Dad, Poor Dad for the third time. You're reading another book on business and entrepreneurship, on marketing, on sales. And you continue to look at videos, read books. But the reality is that these things aren't going to sell the product that you are trying to sell. You haven't made one call to sell your product because you're stuck reading the book. Or maybe that's not your case necessarily to that extent. Maybe you're stuck reading books and you're dedicating more time to videos and books and you're dedicating less time to selling, to calling, and to doing what you need to do in order for your business to get ahead. You are addicted to the feeling of learning without the pain of executing, without the shakiness of when you're about to do your first call of the day. You are addicted to the comfortability of the book and the comfortability of your phone or your computer on the video. If I just read books instead of building systems, I'd still be broke. Personally, one of the things that I love to do is what I would call the just in time learning framework. And let me explain that to you a little bit more. The reason why I call it this is because I don't sit down and waste hours and hours of learning new things unless I need to apply it now. While it is important to learn things that maybe in the future you can apply, the most important thing you can do is call and sell your product. Now, there is an aspect of growing and of learning that is extremely important when it comes to being an entrepreneur, because the biggest tool and the most important tool that you have in life is yourself, because in the end of the day, it is your growth that will allow the business to grow that much further. So while books and videos take away from people's time, it is still important. As long as you are prioritizing the calls that you need to make, the selling that you need to do. I tend to do, like I said, the just-in-time learning framework. What I do is I learn when I need to solve that problem. When I have the issue in front of me, I begin to look up videos, I begin to read, and I begin to solve the issue that is going. I actively work on something and I actively look up how to solve that problem. That way you grow and you still dedicate time to what is needed. Now, if you want to begin to do trainings and you want to do other things like that, that is still important. If you want to go to seminars and you want to learn more, that is still important. But never let it replace the most important thing, which is your sales. Now, here's another important piece to it. Never let go of sales, but understand that you don't learn sales in a book. A book can teach you certain tactics that you can maybe memorize and apply, but you don't learn sales through that. You learn sales by getting hung up on by the vendor that you're trying to contact, by the consumer of your product. When they say, no, I'm not interested, that's where you begin to learn how to sell. When you grab that no and turn it into a yes. When you can handle a no and be okay with it and continue to the next call. Now, I know in my case, I do a lot of cold calling. And when I do a lot of cold calling, what comes with it is a lot of hanging up on, a lot of, no, I'm not interested, or how did you get my number? All of these different things that you'll begin to hear as you call people, as I personally hear all the time when I work with mechanics. They just tend to hang up straight up on me a lot of times. So what I need to begin to do is just gather myself up and keep on going. Don't get upset with the no's. Keep on going, because trust me, eventually you're going to get one person that will be interested. Out of thousands of people that I have on the list to call, I begin to call one after the other, and eventually I begin to get people that are interested. And it's as easily as just Googling it. What are the numbers of the people that are around you, the businesses that are around you that you want to sell to? And if it's a consumer, putting an ad out there and calling those people, regardless of what the format is, show up and sell. Don't try to learn from a book only, but also go out there and, most importantly, sell, and continue to sell. Now, real quick, if you are done being a spectator that just reads the same book, that just watches the same videos, or watches the same person time and time again and never gets into the work, if you want to start executing in the real world, hit the subscribe button below and let's get to work. Now, I talked about this before in many of my videos, but one of the things I love that Alex Hormozi teaches, as well as the concept is taught by Gary Vaynerchuk, Dan Martels, some of these big time entrepreneurs, that is the concept of the 100 rule, which is more Alex Hormozi, but the concept of showing up and continuing to do the same thing time and time again and putting reps in. I've given the example before, but it's very different to bench press and watch a video on it and then go to bench press than benching 100 times and then going to bench 100 and first time, right? You're gonna bench a lot better when you actually done it than when you've simply watched videos or read on it. The same thing is applicable in sales, in marketing, in entrepreneurship overall. When you want to build a business, it's not by watching videos, it's not by reading, although it is important, but it is by you showing up and doing it time after time. Putting in those reps, the 100 rule. Like Alex Hormozi says, if you haven't done it 100 times, don't say it doesn't work. If that is the concept or the way you want to do what you want to do in your business, if you want to sell a specific way, let's say through ads, and you 7 days later are saying it failed, that's it, it's done. No, put in the reps. Let it simmer down there. Learn it. Try. And that way you will eventually know whether it does or doesn't work. No book can save you from the mud phase. It is from you showing up and putting in the reps. It's by you showing up and working minute after minute, time after time, hour after hour, day after day, month after month, and matter of fact, year after year. It is when you are willing to show up and say to yourself, I don't care how it is, I don't care how long, I am going to show up and I am going to succeed in this and I am going to do it, because no matter how much I may read, nothing is going to teach you better than the sales that you actually done, the actual practice that you put in. Again, the best way to learn how to do something is not by reading on it. It's not by watching videos on it. It is by you showing up and being consistent, no matter what. So now, close the book, lock the phone, put away that video, close the app, close YouTube, close Spotify podcast, close whatever podcast app you may have, and begin to try out your sales. Look at yourself in the mirror and sell to yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror and practice your script. And then get on the call and sell the product. Pick up the phone. Let's begin to build the future that you have been wanting for so long. It's not going to be found in the book. It's not going to be found in the video. It's going to be found in the actions of deciding to get out of the comfortability zone, picking up the phone, calling, picking up the phone, emailing, texting, following up, showing up. It is by you showing up and knocking on that door, no matter what the response before was. Even if it was a no, eventually you will get a yes. Don't forget that here we focus on grit and systems. Give it a like. Give it a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe. And don't forget as well, your path to freedom is here.